Hey everybody, I'm Eric Oberempt, and you're listening to Be Authentic or Get the Fuck Out. We talk about real shit, what's on our minds, and don't give a fuck if it makes you feel a little uncomfortable. So sit back, strap in, and get ready for some real shit. What's up, everybody? We are back for another episode of Be Authentic or Get the Fuck Out. I'm your host, Eric Oberempt, and as always, brought to you by D&M Roofing, because we fucking pay for everything, and Roofers in Recovery. They don't pay for shit, but we give them as much money as we possibly can. So we are back with a new episode in the new, I don't want to say improved. It's not improved, but it's the new podcast studio in new location, home base now of Houston, Texas. I haven't decided if I'm going to, somebody asked me the other day if I'm going to be able to call myself a Texan. I don't have an answer to that. That's going to be the burning question for the last episode of season 2. So keep tuning in and you'll get the answer to whether or not, maybe like I'll answer the question by putting a big fucking Texas emblem right in the middle of the fucking, in the middle of the table. So anyway, okay. So we're starting off here today. I'm really excited. Today's going to be a little bit different. We're trying to do things different in season 2, where we want to get some people outside of our industry, outside of the roofing and construction industry, to get some insight on how other people do business. I've learned more from going to events where I hear ideas from people that are in a different industry, and then I take them and I spin them around and I change them just a little bit and then put them into our industry. And it seems like it helps a little bit. So I have brought in my friend, Mo Fala. Mo, Eric, thanks for being here, buddy.
Awesome, man. Thanks
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So it's really funny because I had no idea that you even lived here. And I was down a couple months ago when we came down to do our tour of interviews, and I was actually texting Sam, and I'm like, who the fuck do we know in Houston? You know, I'm like, I need somebody else to fill, like I needed to fill in another spot. And he was like, oh, Mo moved to Houston. No, Sam didn't even know that. Steven did. Steven knew that you moved, but Sam was like, wait, what? Mo lives in fucking Houston? But Steven knew that you moved to Houston, and I'd reached out to you and you were traveling or something and we couldn't connect. And we ended up meeting up with Coda Ivers, which he was a good cat. You know him? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a good kid. But we had a good time with him. But so tell everybody, well, hold on, stop. Sorry. I want to do something a little bit different this season, because I rewatched some of my episodes from last season, and I realized what I did was it always started off a little bit slow, because I always ask people to start in the beginning of their story and then get to the end.
Yep.
Right? Not doing that this year, Lexi. This season. Here's what we're doing. We're starting now. Okay. Right? I want to know where it's like watching a show and they show you the fucking end and you're like, wait, why do I even want to watch this whole goddamn show? You just told me what's going to happen. Like Susie dies. I want to hear where Mo's at right now and exactly what you're doing and how you're killing it real quick. Then we're going to go back and I want to hear about all the bullshit that we had to go through to get here. For sure. Is that cool?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go with it. So Mo today is a lot calmer than what he used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell everybody what you do first, because a lot of people watching might not even know what industry you're in.
Yeah. So I run a company called Simple Solar. We are the fastest growing solar company, door-to-door solar company in the nation. We started our organization in 2020, and as of right now, we are selling approximately $10 million a month worth of solar, 100% organic, all door-to-door. $0 ad spend in 3 different markets in California, Florida, and Texas. And within the next 2 weeks, we will also be opening up Massachusetts and crushing Massachusetts.
Why Massachusetts?
They have really great. They have great incentives in terms of going solar.
Really,
the cost of electricity is super high. And I have a team there. Like I've got, all I need to be able to build an office is a good leader. Yeah. If I have a good leader, I can blow up a market.
Yeah.
So I have a guy who he used to work with Simple about a year and a half ago, and he was great. He just wanted to move back home, and we weren't set up there. So he went back. He built a team of like 10 people, and he hit me up, says, hey, like I want to continue to work with Simple. Like I loved what it was in your company. Can you open up an office here? So I was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's get it started. So
that's awesome.
So in the next 2 weeks, we're opening up Massachusetts.
So we've had conversations about this before, and I don't know the difference between a fucking gigawatt and a fucking kilowatt, and I don't know any of that. But I do know that there's kind of two different models when you have solar companies, and one's like sales org, one's installer, and one's both.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay. And so which one of those are you?
So we are a sales org.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you kick to somebody?
We send our contracts over to different. We have 6 different installers in all 3 states.
Each state has 6 different?
Each state has 2 different installers.
Each state has 2 different installers. And that's able to keep up with that mass quantity that you're producing?
Yeah, because I mean, we're in 3 different markets, and it's almost pretty equal across all 3 of them.
Okay.
And with the average system size of or system cost of $45,000, you're running 230 to 250 contracts every single month. If you're spreading across 3 different markets and 2 different installers across each market, it's like 30 to 50 jobs across each installer per month. It doesn't bog them down. So the reason originally, like one of the failure points was we kept on giving too much volume to one at a time.
Yeah.
And that's when we landed in messes, super delayed timelines. So we just figured to lower and reduce the liability and slow down the timeline. Speed up timelines?
Speed up timelines.
And you want to speed up timelines, we just went to multiple different installers. And as we continue to scale, if our installers can't keep up with us,
you have to.
We just go to another installer.
Right.
And we just, it's easier for, because sales is easy to scale. Because all you need is just,
right.
But
the production's what's hard to scale.
Production's hard. So for me to go from, 1 sale to 100 sales in a market is way easier than an installer going from like 5 sales to 20.
Right. 100%.
So and we just scale really quick. So we have to be cautious about where we're working and with which installers
and who you're working with. Yeah, because in my industry, that's the hardest thing. Is like I could go hire 100 sales guys if I wanted to, but I can't build all the goddamn roofs.
No. It's not even worth it. It doesn't make sense for you to do that.
No. I mean, I'll end up losing my dick. Anyway. So
we ran into issues like we had. So before solar, I put a window and roofing company under just through like massive sales. They just couldn't keep up. I sold too much. They actually went under. And then about a year ago, there was this other solar company in Florida. We ended up putting them under as well. Ended up just selling a lot of accounts. They couldn't keep up with it. I had about $350,000 that was supposed to be paid out to me. Didn't get paid. Still paid all my sales reps as if it got paid. At the end of the day, it's my responsibility.
Sure.
Like, I picked the wrong installer. That's on me.
Right.
So it's a serious problem, and not a lot of people really consider that. And it was my negligence. I went with the cheapest option. My negligence. I went with the cheapest option.
Sure.
And I thought that it bit me in the ass.
So okay, I'm gonna shift gears a little bit.
Yeah, we're going a lot of places.
That's okay. That's what we do here, man. Like we do not stay in a fucking straight line at all, ever. Never have. It makes me think about there's so many different organizations that are trying to get into your industry now, and you've been doing it for a minute, and you obviously know it pretty fucking well. But there's a lot of let's call them roofing groups that are getting into. So here's the thing: I don't even know what the fuck they're getting into, right? Because they're selling these boot camps and plans and fucking, you know what I mean, trying to get, and I don't even get the angle. And then there's all these different other people coming back at it, calling it a scam because someone's getting fucked and I can't figure out who it is.
What do you mean by boot camps?
Well, that's just, I'm not going to bring up their name because I'm not trying to start a whole fucking thing on here because if they see it, it'll be a whole thing. But they know who the fuck I'm talking about when I said the word. But but basically what they're trying to do is they're bringing in different roofing companies to sign up into their program so that when they go sell it funnels through whatever. Okay. But what I'm hearing is like, tell me, is it because where's the financing cost? Who's paying for that? Because someone's getting fucked on that, and that's what people are talking about. I'd like to figure that out right now.
So it's the bank. So in a mortgage, how you can buy down your interest. You pay points to buy down your interest. So financiers do the same exact thing. So a financier in solar will charge anywhere from 25 to 32 points on the entire cost of the system to buy down the interest down to 0.49%. So, and they spread it across 25 years.
Okay.
And the reason why they do that is because lower interest equates to the lowest possible payment.
Lower interest for whom?
For the homeowner.
For the homeowner.
So you can do a, I'm going to throw some numbers out there.
Yep.
$25,000 loan at 6% interest has much, much higher payments than a $37,000 loan at 0.49% interest.
Right.
So there's $12,000 of extra margin that goes to the bank, but all they're doing is they're just taking it on the front end on total contract price, and they're recouping it over the span of 25 years.
Gotcha.
So it's not a scam. All it is just you're buying down your points so you can have a lower payment. Because how solar works, the reason why people go solar and why it makes so much sense is if someone's paying a $200 electric bill, if you can get the payments to $150, flat rate, never goes up, stays fixed, it's equity. Every time a homeowner makes a payment, it reduces the principal. The electric rate would go up forever, and you never could see any of that money back.
Right.
It's a no-brainer. You're replacing rent for equity at a lower payment.
But you're not paying any electric bill.
No electric bill.
None.
Eliminates all of the electricity usage. So what solar is, you're paying for the equipment. You're not paying for the actual electricity produced.
Right.
The equipment produces all of the electricity that the home needs.
Always.
If you build it correctly, yeah.
Okay.
If you build it correctly, like if you your home is different than a small 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. So if I try and put a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home solar system
for the people that are like, wow, it's fucking cloudy in Seattle all the time.
Yeah.
Like, is that a thing?
So it is a thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So when we build systems, what we do is we don't take a look at your month. We take a look at your entire annual usage. So for your home right now, like I can't build you a solar system accurately because I only have 7 days worth of data.
Right.
I need to know what you use for an entire year and then build it based off of that. And then we take into consideration weather patterns, cloudy days, rainy days, all that. So the software that we use, it takes your geographic location and it tracks weather patterns. So we can go back and look at the previous 20 years of weather patterns.
So is that equipment storing that energy, or if we have 12 days of cloudy, shitty, rainy, fucky weather, right? Then I'm tapping back into the electric.
You're tapping back into the electric.
Got it.
So the way it works, the program's called net metering. So the meter that's on the
I've heard that term.
Yeah.
Don't know what it means, but I'm getting ready to.
It's the only way that solar works.
Got it.
So the meter that's on the side of your house.
Yeah.
Every time you pull electricity, it spins and it adds kilowatt hours. Right. So kilowatt hours is just the unit of measurement for electricity.
Okay.
So the new net meters, what it does is it spins in reverse. So when the solar produces the electricity, it sends it back to the grid. And instead of you using, let's say in a day you use 10 kilowatt hours.
Okay.
If you produce 15 kilowatt hours, you're at -5. It goes backwards.
Okay.
So what the utility company is, they store it for you in the form of credits. So yes, for those 12 days, you're going to be getting it from the electricity company. But the previous 45 days, you built up enough of a bank balance that you can just pull from there. It's just like credits.
Okay.
And so you produce more than you need in the summer you produce more than you need in the sunny days.
Yep.
So in the cloudy days, you just pull from your balance.
Oh.
So you end up with a net.
Oh, that's interesting.
You end up with a net zero bill as long as you build the system the right size. You end up with a net zero bill.
Got it.
And the reason why they're saying it's a scam is because the bank charges fees to it, but would you go solar? Like, what do you think is an easier sale? You tell a homeowner, you're going to pay this bill for 25 years. It's $250 more a month than what you're currently paying.
Right.
Or you're going to pay this bill and it's $75 a month less than what you're currently paying. What's an easier sale?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but the only way to do that is if we bake in fees into the financing cost, but we supplement that and we reduce that by the interest rate.
But that's the bank making that money.
The bank makes that money.
Right. Not the solar company, not anybody else.
Just the bank.
The person financing. Or the entity financing.
But no entity would go out and lend money for 0.49%.
No, of course not. No. I get it. Yeah. I was just trying to kind of dabble in there and figure out, just because there's so many chirping heads, you know what I mean, that keep talking about it. And there's so many people that want to get into it, and they don't want to get into it for the right reasons. Right? Like, they just don't. I mean, a lot of people, you get into roofing, solar, whatever industry that you're in.
The only reason you should ever, help. The only reason you should ever get into any business is to serve someone.
Correct.
Only reason.
Right.
If you do it for money, you're in the wrong.
But there's a ton of people that are like that. That's their only motivation. They have no motivation other than money. Who can I step on? Who can I fuck? So that I can make the most amount of money possible.
The thing that sucks about the solar industry is it's so new, there isn't enough regulation. And so anybody, it's like wild, wild west. Anybody can get in. You don't need any form of licenses. You don't need any form of like real legit training. The thing that sucks about it is that there's a tax credit.
You don't need any license to sell it.
Correct.
You
just
do
to install
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's the salesmen who make all the promises.
Right.
And the thing is that different than roofing.
And are they making tax promises too? Yeah.
That's the thing. The government pays for 26% in a tax credit only if homeowners have federal taxable income. So if somebody, is retired or doesn't pay anything, maybe they're a great real estate investor,
Right.
they pay zero in taxes,
right.
and then you go and you promise, hey, you're going to get a $15,000 tax credit.
You're not.
You're not. And
right.
so what happens, your payments end up fucking skyrocketing.
Right.
And you're just fucking a homeowner. And that's why solar, there's good solar, there's bad solar. It's not, sorry, let me change that.
Yeah.
There's only good solar, there's bad people.
Right.
There's bad people or good people. There's only good solar.
Right. There's people that don't know how to educate properly.
Or there are people who know how to educate properly, but they choose not to.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. All right. I think that was a good solar lesson for everybody, because I've been to so many things and I just shut down as soon as I hear gigawatt.
Yeah.
Like,
look, what's the name of our company?
Simple Solar.
Yeah, that's
what's the name of my podcast?
Be authentic or get the fuck out. No, but it's right.
I thought it was a test. I thought it was a test for me.
No, but you're totally right. It's too many people try and complicate it. They talk about the technology shit. I don't sell solar panels. I sell solar.
Right.
Like, this is how it works. We train our people. You keep it as simple as possible.
Yep.
You can't scale complex systems.
Right.
It's impossible. You can't scale anything complex at all. So if you just keep it like it's so reiterated in the world, but like
you want it to be Cutco.
Stick to the basics. Stick to the basics. Stick to the fundamentals.
Right.
They work, and it's so much easier to scale than trying adding a million different things.
100%. So what were you doing before solar?
Windows and roofing.
How long did you do that for?
I did that for 9 months before I put the company under.
And that was in Florida. Mm-hmm. Okay, but Miami, but you're from California.
No.
Oh, that's where you were.
I was, yeah.
Okay.
So I was born in Toronto, Canada.
Okay.
Family immigrated to the U.S. So I come from.
It's funny to hear immigrated from Canada.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So I know it's not.
There's no fucking wall. There's no river.
You just walk across the bridge.
There's no swimming. Yeah. Okay.
So my parents, they're Palestinian descent.
Okay.
So we're Israeli.
Both.
Okay. Yeah. So my father's a professor. So our family came to Toronto, Canada. I was born there, and then my father got a job at the University of Akron, Ohio.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
So that's what brought our family to Ohio. Went there, went to college for a bit. Huge academic. My father's a huge academic, and I was like not having it.
Yeah.
And I had free tuition, and despite me having free tuition, just like it wasn't me.
School sucks.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. I was already dabbling in, my first actual entrepreneur career was I was a huge pot dealer.
Yeah.
Like big time.
I think we talked about that a little bit. Did I tell you how I quit school?
No.
I couldn't find a parking spot.
Adversity.
I swear to God, I was driving around the campus and I was like, fuck this. And I called my grandpa and I was like, do you have any more jobs for me to go sell? Because I'm over this. And he's like, what do you mean? I go, I can't find a parking spot. I'm done.
Yeah.
He's like, you sure? And I said, yeah. And he's like, okay, that was it. That was
That's
how I quit
funny.
school. Yeah. So anyway,
idea.
So selling drugs.
Yeah.
I've said a million times, the best entrepreneurs and the best salespeople had drug organizations, as did I. So go on.
The issue is you can't market it.
Right.
You can't market that.
Not in the way that we think of marketing
Not
today.
the way that you need to scale a business.
Right.
Like you can't market, I can't go and just throw ads and put some ad spend,
No.
You can't go publicize.
Is there a back page? I don't know.
Probably. But no, you can't go market that. And I had pretty during that time.
You can't go door to door.
Yeah, seriously.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. You probably sell a lot.
You probably could. What?
There it is. Yes! We got the video.
Yes, it fell. These fucking things with the cheap ass fucking tape. All right. Well, if the sound sucks now, it's because this piece of shit fell from the sky.
That's all good.
All right.
So I had pretty dark times while I was selling weed. I've had, people coming into my home, holding me at gunpoint, losing, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 at a time, at, 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
And it's like,
how old are you now?
27.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 27. So, it was a game that I knew I couldn't stick in forever.
Mm-hmm.
And
how long did you do it?
So I first started at 15 and a half.
When did you start doing weight though?
Probably what do you consider weight?
well, I mean, not what you were doing at 15.
Yeah. I mean, like,
and I sold coke. I didn't sell weed, so I don't even know what weed weighed. You know what I mean? I don't even know weed.
So, I mean, a kilogram is 2.2 pounds.
Okay.
So, I started pushing, we can call it kilos. I started pushing kilos of weed probably at 18 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did that for a couple of years?
Yeah, I did that till about 22.
Oh, so like 4 years.
Yeah, but I started like, ounces.
Yeah.
Ounces were like 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was only able to go 2 years. And like,
Coke's a different game though.
yeah.
Dude, it's a whole.
I got scared. Like, I got really scared. I
Coke,
mean, I ended up in
Coke.
jail for my last DUI, for my 4th DUI, which is what got me out. But I was already like, I'm going to get caught.
Coke is like, it's a whole different ball game. Like weed's like, people just want to like be high and happy and like chill and eat pizza and
we want to
shit
shoot
like
each other.
Yeah. Coke is like, we'll fucking kill you for this.
Yes. Yeah. It's violent.
Yeah. So it's very different.
But it sounds like it was for you too, a little bit. I mean, you obviously had moments.
Yeah, I had moments, and it just and fear too, fear of like getting caught. I was like, dude, nothing's worth me going to fucking prison for a couple of years. Like, like I have so much. Like the thing is, I've always known that I have like massive potential in me.
Right.
Always known. And I actually stopped selling from like 18 to 19 because that's when I went to school for a bit. And then my parents split up and my father stopped supporting my mother. So I took my mother in and I had to support her, support myself. My father stopped supporting me because I took my mother in. And so he was just like, very against, I know, it was pretty stupid. So
do we talk to Dad today?
Seldom.
Okay.
Yeah, not much, but we've gotten better. We've gotten better.
I mean, there's a fucking good story there.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So he stopped. He didn't pay alimony for her. Didn't do any of that. Like just battled the courts. Still like appealing for years.
Was it because he was hurt by something she did, or because he was just like, go fuck yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much like go fuck yourself.
Wow.
Yeah. And throughout their whole entire marriage, he never let her work. He wanted her to be a stay-at-home mom, and so she had 30 years of working experience, and English is her third language, and so for her to
what's her first two?
Arabic and Hebrew.
Oh,
yeah,
wow,
yeah. So for her to even like get employment, it was like near impossible, and she's in her 50s. It's like haven't worked for 30 years. Like what's a resume show, right?
Right.
So I basically had to take her in. I took on the responsibility, and I had to support myself and her, and I still had big aspirations and dreams.
Yeah.
Right? So I ended up getting back into it. And then it just got hot. I just knew that I had way more in me.
Yeah.
And so at 19, I bought my first property. I bought my first property for cash. I sold it about a year and a half later. I bought it. So in Ohio, it's not like crazy expensive.
Yeah.
So I bought a foreclosure for $50K.
Yeah.
About a year and a half later, I sold it for $175K. Got my real estate license. During the meantime, was wholesaling, flipping houses. Double-sided the deal, so I was the buyer's agent and seller's agent on it, so I could save commission. I got fucked by my realtor when I bought the foreclosure, and so I was just like, "Fuck that! I'm never getting fucked again." So I went and got my own license. Instead. I'm just like, I was like, learn. Every lesson has a price.
Yeah.
So did that. After I sold the house, I was like, I finally had cash in my bank account. I was like, all right, I'm fucking out. So I dipped. I went to back to Toronto, Canada, and that's when I got into direct sales. So 22 years old is when I finally got into like aside from weed, right? It's not like I'm in a home like negotiating.
Right. Yeah. So, it's like you want it or not, asshole.
Yeah. Exactly.
You came to me.
But I was a really, really great dealer. Like I always gave people more than they expected.
Yes.
I always showed up on time. Their bag was always heavy.
Right.
Like I was the one doing the deliveries at 6 a.m. because they had to go to work, and I was waking up at 4:30 so I can go drive an hour to make it happen. I was the most dependable dealer.
Yeah.
Everyone knew, and I charge a premium for it too.
Right, sure.
Because I know
you're
always going to get it. I'm always going to be on time. Right. It's never going to be short.
You're not going to get robbed.
You're not going to get robbed. So anytime you needed it, I was always there. So I was fantastic. If this shit was, now it's legal and stuff, but I don't think the legal game is as fun as it is today.
Nah.
It's not as fun as like the illegal game.
I can't imagine.
No, you got to go to regulations and
that's no fun. Yeah. If I was still using, I think I'd still want to go find some motherfucker hiding in some, you know what I mean, in his basement with fucking 10 bongs on the wall, and that's still who I want to go buy my shit from. I don't want to go into some goddamn store in a strip mall.
Yeah. So 22, go into direct sales. Actually, I blow almost all the money I made from the house because I tried doing like stocks and options and shit trading.
That always works out, doesn't it?
Yeah, dude, I mean, you get sold a fucking dream.
Yep.
You know, you get sold a dream.
Yep.
Some guru who just, makes a shit ton of money from selling dreams and lost almost all of it. I met my brother's good friend. He was probably like the wealthiest person that I knew at the time. And he was young. He was probably like 29 years old at the time. And, super wealthy, lived in the penthouse, like had the Audi R8, the G-Wagon, like just very, very successful guy. And he told me, he's like, the only way that you're ever going to get rich in this life is through sales. And
he's right.
And he's like, if you want to come into my business, I'll take you under my wing. I'll teach you how to sell. And I was like, okay, let's do it.
And what was his business?
HVAC.
Okay.
HVAC and water systems, water filtration.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he taught me the whole entire model, exactly how to work, taught me how to go door to door, taught me how to get inside of homes, how to close, how to negotiate, how to like always get the deal. Like he's the one that taught me is like sign now or never get the deal. And he said, exhaust all options no matter what, always get the deal. He said, you're never coming back. So learned that 22, went to Miami 24 because Ontario, the province of Ontario, they shut down the financing program that was designed for HVAC and water. They were like, it was just a lot of shady individuals created a ton of complaints.
Yeah.
And so the whole province just shut it down.
Wow.
They shut down the whole financing thing. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
they just do that.
I know. Canada is a whole different story.
Yeah.
Right?
They just do what they want. Yeah.
There's like no freedom for people to,
Right.
It's like they don't want people to be successful.
Right.
Yeah. So whatever. So the guy, his name was Alex. He said, I go to Miami every winter. I avoid the winters. He's like, it's a great place. Like, let's go build over there. And I was like, all right, let's just go build over there. Fuck it.
Yeah.
It sounds better than winters. You know? So go start with him for about 4 months. And the product wasn't as good. And I was selling a product that I knew wasn't doing the right service for homeowners. Like I knew that I was fucking them over.
Right.
And it just, every single time I made a sale, it just fucking ate at me. It just killed me to do it. So I just told him, I was like, dude, I can't do this anymore. One of my appointments, the guy thought that I was the window guy. And I was like, yeah, for sure, we'll take care of your windows. So I go, I measure all the windows in his house. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Call like 8 or 9 different window companies. One company calls me back the next day. And I'm like, yeah, I got this, I got all these windows. I'm trying to get a quote. They're like, okay, yeah. I'm trying to sell this deal. They're like, okay, come to our office. I show them the measurements. I measured all the windows improperly.
Of course.
I did height width versus width height.
Got it.
And when they did it, they just started laughing.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, it's okay. Like, nobody knows this.
Yeah.
And then they give me a price sheet. They give me a sample window, and they're like, yeah, just go sell it. I was like, all right, for sure, I'll go sell it. And I go to the house, and I do a fucking awful job. It was embarrassing. Like, the guy asked me so many questions about windows.
Yeah.
I have no idea. All I have is the price in a window.
Talk
sample.
about complicated.
Yeah.
Selling fucking windows.
Yeah.
They are.
Double pane.
Yeah.
Single frame.
Yeah.
So do that for a bit, 9 months. They're also a roofing company. And the second month in, I became the top producer of that company, and I stayed the top producer. And I just sold so much that they couldn't keep up, and they ended up going under. I wasn't paid about 170 grand worth of commissions, but my lifestyle was at like 300 grand a year. It was my lifestyle.
Right.
And so I was spending money on credit cards, expecting money to come in, and it never came in. Yeah. You've probably been through some shit like that.
Yeah.
Found there was a solar guy that was in one of my appointments one time, and I found his card in like bottom of my BMW at the time, and it was just all crinkled up, and I found it. His name was Scott. I called him. I was like, hey, tell me about this solar thing. So I go to his office, and as soon as I see it, I'm like, all right, dude, like, what's the fucking catch? Like, this sounds way too good to be true.
Yeah, what's the gimmick?
Like, what's the fucking gimmick? And they're like, nothing. It's like, this is how the financing works. If they're eligible for the tax credit, this is exactly how it works. And so I go, same thing with a roof. Like, what, you pay $1,000, you get a whole brand new roof?
Right.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Right. It's a good deal.
It's a great fucking deal.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic
And we still
deal.
have to fight every day to get people to pay that fucking $1,000.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's like you're getting a $30,000 roof
for a grand.
Right. Like, it's stupid.
It's a deal, kids.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as soon as I saw that, I was just like, this is incredible. I sold for the first month, They wouldn't give me any leads because they said they didn't know, they didn't want to waste leads on me because I'm a brand new guy. So first month I sell like 6 accounts, which is like better than the guys who got leads. And I went and self-genned and did door to door. And after the month I was like, all right, so how do I get paid? And they said, you know, once it goes on install, then you get paid. I was like, oh, cool. How long's install take? Like, oh, 6 months. I know. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Because Miami-Dade and Broward County.
Oh, those are a motherfucker to work in.
Hurricane
Yeah,
codes.
right. Yeah.
So they're even more strict with solar because it's fucking brand new. Like, you know, roofing, they've had roofs forever. Solar's brand new. Nobody knows what the hell they're doing.
Right.
So I've always wanted to build a team. The same guy, Alex, told me, he's like, you know, if you want, you have to learn this thing called leverage, and you have to build a team in order for you to actually grow into wealth. And so I knew I couldn't build a team if people had to wait 6 months to get paid. So I go on Google and I type in fastest solar installation market in the US, and I found it was California. And a week later I was living in Cali.
Oh, wow.
I was like, because I knew like that light bulb clicked when I found solar, where it was like, I'm going to sell everybody. I knew it was the right product. I just knew. I was like, it just makes so much sense. There's no reason why people would say no to it.
Right.
And I knew it was the fastest market. So I was like fuck it. Like some inkling. Everybody told me don't go. They're like, dude.
So when I met you,
Yeah.
the first time I met you was at the sales summit in Vegas.
What was it? I thought it was the mastermind.
No.
You met me at the sales.
Well, we didn't meet.
Okay, but
But
I was there.
and I was speaking downstairs in the roofing thing.
Yes.
Me and Brian Arnold were speaking downstairs because I remember, and the reason I ask this is because how new were you when you were at that sales summit in solar?
So that was 1 month after I started Simple Solar.
That's what I thought.
You're probably one of the earliest people that met me at the origination of Simple Solar.
Got it. Because you were the motherfucker in the front row going, any questions? Yup.
Yeah.
Yup. And that's how I remembered you when we met at the mastermind later, because I was like, oh, that's the motherfucker that kept asking questions, which is obviously like
curious.
awesome. Like that's what you should do.
Yeah.
But you always catch the eye of that person that is continuously engaged in something. You know what I mean? And like, that was all I remembered of you. I didn't listen to one fucking question you asked because it was about solar and like, I didn't give a fuck. Yeah. But I just know, I remembered that. And then we met at the first mastermind.
Yeah. I had no idea. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was at that. Yeah. Cause I was downstairs.
I'm curious. I want to know.
The people that are curious are the ones that win, man.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's
it's such a shame when people spend money to go to events and they fucking sit in the back of the room, and all they do is
take their notes.
Like,
yeah,
you're not there to take notes. You're there to fucking figure out. Like, I'm going there for a reason.
So the difference between like you and I, though, in that you're absolutely correct. For me, the way that I work, though, is I have to take the notes. I have to digest them to figure out the questions that I have, right? So when I show up to something, I don't have questions. I'm not ready for questions, right? I want the information. I want to figure out what I don't know and what I do know from the information, and then come up with questions. Yeah. So then when I show up to like the mastermind thing or whatever, now I'm ready for questions.
Yeah, so I showed up to that event with questions.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
like you were ready for it already, and I'm normally not.
So that event really played a huge role in like Simple Solar. So I go to California. I work under a company for about a year, and I build a team that's about 25% of the size, but we were doing about 60% of their volume month over month. And so I go to the owners and I ask them like, hey, like, you know, I want equity in this organization. I'm literally bringing almost all of your volume. Right. And they give me metrics to hit. I hit those metrics and they move the goalpost. And so it was like, dude, this is never going to fucking happen. Yeah. So I tell my team that I have, I had about like 18 people at the time. I tell them like, hey, I'm going to go and start my own thing. You can stay here. You can come with me. Like either way, I'm going to go and I'm going to build something great. Yeah. And all of them came. And that was in January of 2020. We were just like still kind of figuring it out. March is when COVID hit, and so many people just stopped showing up. And I was like, and I pretty much like I cut 14 of them. So we ended at 4 people. We ended at 4 people in April, and we're like, all right, like it's just us. We're just gonna fucking go. And then May is when we went to Vegas. Yeah. And May we did 42 accounts, and then after that we did 106 accounts with 10 people, which is like no company. I don't think there's any company in history that has a team that, for solar at least, that their per rep average is over 10, like 10 accounts per month per person. And so when we did that, we just milked it.
And this was during COVID, still going door to door
in Cali.
Like, how the fuck did you not all get thrown in jail?
We went to Republican towns.
Oh, okay, smart.
Yeah, that's it. So here's the thing that most people don't know. Most of California is actually Republican.
Right. But the metropolises with all the population are not.
If you leave LA, Sacramento, San Diego, and San Francisco,
right.
If you go to their outskirts, every single thing on the outskirts is fucking all Republican.
Got it. So that's where you went.
Yeah.
Got it.
So we just went there and like they didn't care.
Right.
They didn't care.
They wanted to talk to people.
Yeah.
That was what we ran into, right? Because we had a couple little mini storms. It wasn't like anything great, but I remember us going into some neighborhoods in like June and we had a couple people, like we had one lady chase somebody down the fucking street, like, and call the cops. It was fucking, I swear to God, it was crazy. But most of the time we'd knock on the doors and then we were like super nice about it. We step back 10 feet and, and you do the whole thing or whatever. But most people would come out because they like genuinely wanted to talk to someone. They were like, oh my God, thank you for coming by.
Yeah.
Like, this is amazing. Another human.
I think one of the things is like, I'm a big Grant Cardone guy. And when COVID first came, he launched a podcast and he said, look, he's like, these things have happened before. He's like, when the entire world is contracting, you must expand. And I just took that and I went to my team and I just built this vision of expansion, how everyone is hiding, everyone is staying in. I was like, let's let everyone know we're not stopping. Like we're just gonna go. Like nothing's gonna get in our way. Like no fucking virus is gonna put us out. And we just like continue to spread this message that like we're fucking going no matter what. Nothing is gonna take us out.
That's exactly what we did too.
And I think what happened is people in the world they wanted leadership. There was nobody being a leader
because everybody was scared.
Everyone was scared.
And it was all fear.
And media is all fucking hysteria, bullshit. Like it's all fucking made up to put fear in people. And I've never believed in the media.
Right.
And so I just said, we have to be the figures. We have to be the people that like show, hey, we're not scared.
Right.
Despite what everyone else is saying, we're gonna go and we're gonna produce. And I think just like that sign of leadership, and I talk about myself because other people have said it about me, and I think it's a really great point to bring across, is like people need to see somebody that like, despite what fears are out there, like people need somebody that's just going to take action and fucking go.
Correct.
And I think we just attracted people because people wanted to work. Like,
and people were scared to take action. That was like you. I think that's exactly what you're saying, is that not only were people scared to take action, but they wanted so bad for somebody else to do it for them so that they could, right?
I got so much hate for continuing to go out and produce.
Sure.
So much hate.
Yeah.
Everyone was like,
and what it really was
fear?
Jealousy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I could see that.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck me.
Yeah. But
why is he going to make money?
Well, no, the hatred that I was getting is like, you're putting people's lives at risks. You're
no,
like,
but again, I think I bet it was still out of jealousy.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it was still out of jealousy because they're like, he's doing it. He's doing it, but they weren't. I don't know. I
don't know.
That's
anyways. So a lot of people like they hear this stuff and like I was numb to it.
Right.
I was like, I knew where I was going. Like, Napoleon Hill talks about definiteness of purpose.
Yeah.
Like, like you set a plan, you set a goal, you set a plan, you get a team around you, like the mastermind, right? You get a team around you, all focus on one thing and you just fucking go. And we did. And like, despite everything that was told to me, how I was a murderer, I was this, I'm spreading code, I'm killing people, I'm killing the elderly, I'm this, I'm this. I'm in homes with, like 85-year-olds and I'm taking selfie videos. I'm like, hey, and I post this stuff because I promote my wins, right? I want to show successes and wins.
Right.
And I'm getting like, oh, like, you don't know, like you probably just took her life. She's going to be dead in 2 weeks. You probably gave her COVID. You're talking to someone. And I was like,
block.
Fucking take your negativity and stay over there.
Right.
Let me continue. So that was all 2020. Just continue building, and then 21 is when we expanded into 3 different states.
So talking about building, that's one thing that I wanted to get into a little bit because I think, and this is something make a tag in this like on your notes, Lexi, when you're doing it, because I think this will be a clip, because a lot of people that watch you but also in my industry, one of the biggest struggles that so many of us have, that at least on the outside looking in, you don't, is recruiting. Right. And when I think of Mo, I think of the guy that can fucking recruit anybody. Right. Which, I mean, congratulations. That's a great moniker to have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a hard skill.
It is. Yeah. But I think that, and at the end of the day, your company cannot succeed unless you can recruit, unless you can add people to make sales.
My client, as an owner of a business, is not a homeowner.
Correct.
My client is a salesperson.
Yep.
So my business only grows in relation to the number of people that come into my organization.
Correct.
But it doesn't come from a matter of me trying to make a sale and like get someone to in so I can earn revenue. Like, if I truly care about somebody, they need to be in my business.
Yep.
Like, giving somebody the opportunity that we have and giving someone the opportunity to take control of their life, take control of their income, take control of their resources, their finances, their family, their children, take care of other people, like giving somebody that power just because like we built a platform to allow people to do that is the highest level of respect that you can give to any friend, any person that you get connected with, to put them in a better situation in their life. It becomes an ethical issue. Like, you're a shitty fucking friend if you're a shitty friend if you're not going after your friends and telling them like, hey, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
Like, you're fucking good. You know how to communicate with people. You're a hard worker and you're getting drastically underpaid for what you're doing.
Right.
Like, get your fucking head out of your ass and come and knock some fucking doors. Quit being a bitch.
Right.
Like,
right.
Really, it's like, that's it. Just like quit being a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Get your head out of your ass, come out and knock some doors and make some real fucking money.
Right.
Because
change your life.
Especially today, like $100K doesn't get you by today.
No.
It doesn't. You can't get by with $100K anymore. You just can't. You can't make change and impact in the world.
Correct.
If you're not making, $600K plus a year, even that's like a little bit on the low end, but like you can't make drastic change and impact in the world doing that. I read this thing today. It said, nobody average ever inspired anyone. Like, tell me one average person.
That's a great quote.
Tell me one average person that you've ever been inspired by.
Yeah.
And so do you want to be somebody that goes out and is able to like provide for the community, build churches, clinics, hospitals, donate to program, donate to roofers in recovery. Like you could have not built that if you just had a regular job.
Right.
And you wouldn't have even had the thought
to do it.
No.
Yeah. It changes your mindset.
Like, money's a spiritual thing. Like, money expands like who you are inside.
Right.
And so like, if you're a good person, you have more money, your spiritual ability to have reach and go out and serve more people drastically increases. So it's a total fucking disservice not to make money.
The only time that money's bad is if you're already a really bad fucking
human. You're a shitty person. Yeah, for sure.
Because then you're going to do a lot more shitty stuff.
But most people in the world aren't.
I agree with that.
Most people are good
I agree
people.
with that. Yeah. The loudest are shitty. That's the difference. Is that the loudest are shitty. It's always the loudest motherfucker.
And also it's media and Hollywood portrays the rich as bad.
Correct.
Like you rarely see the rich guy in movies and TVs as like, except Iron Man, like in Batman,
right.
Iron Man and Batman,
right? Iron Man and Batman.
But they're superheroes, right? That's that's their thing.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it's all the villain, the super rich guy who's like, I
never really thought about that. That's absolutely accurate, though.
Yeah. Rich is portrayed in the world as bad.
Rich is bad. Yeah, rich is not bad.
No.
You want to be rich, kids.
Yeah.
Like, you want to have money. You can't do shit unless you, like you said, you can't make change. You can't impact people.
Nobody's going to want to follow you.
Right.
Like, nobody will want to follow you if you're broke.
Right. Well, and if you're broke, people shouldn't be following
Unless
you
you're
anyway.
Gandhi. But Gandhi had different purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I didn't think of Gandhi.
Yeah. I just thought of it too. I was like,
yeah, that's good.
Yeah. But like he had a different purpose.
Yep.
His purpose was to lead his people into freedom and salvation, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to switch gears one last time because I know we've been going for a while, haven't we? Okay, perfect. So I want to circle back to what we were talking about in the beginning before we actually came on camera.
Okay.
Because we were talking about stem cells.
Okay.
I want to talk about that because I think that we were having fun with that for a minute, and we should have been filming, and we just weren't ready. But so I went and got stem cells about 4.5 months ago, and I went down to Puerto Vallarta to a clinic, and it's look up the podcast, folks. It's on there. Joshua Kettner, and got mesenchymal. Is that how you say it? Was it mesenchymal? So I think it was mesenchymal stem cells, which are, I don't know if they're umbilical or if they're placenta. Do you remember? Because one of them you get tumors.
Okay.
So like you don't want that one.
Okay.
Because they'll literally grow tumors in
okay.
you, right? Like, so that's the one you don't want.
Yeah.
But this is the one that supposedly you do. And we went for 45 minutes to an hour with Josh, with him explaining why you can't get those in the United States. And it all has to do with the FDA won't approve them because of the orthopedic lobby.
Okay.
Because if stem cells actually work, and if the mesenchymal stem cells actually work, then the orthopedics aren't going to be able to replace as many hips. They aren't going to have as many back surgeries. They're not going to have as many blah, blah,
Did
blah.
you see that thing Mark Cuban just recently did?
No, what?
So
with the prescriptions?
Yeah. It's fully launched now. Like drugs that are like, you know.
Did you hear about this? Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah. So he's literally just like trying to take down pharmaceuticals.
Yes.
I like on his website, it's like drugs that are like $1,400, $1,500 that are like life-saving. He's selling them for like $21.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he can.
Because like, yeah.
And there's no insurance involved.
Hey, back to what we were saying. The only way you can make impact is if you have money.
Right.
The only way.
Yes.
You can't do that if you're...
Because you can change the fucking narrative, and you're not being told what the fuck is real. Right? You're being given the opportunity to learn what is real, and you get to show people what is possible.
He even says, this is our charge. He's like, we do a 15% markup.
Yeah, he literally showed their markup.
He goes, we do a 15% markup plus a $3 like administration fee or something like that on every single product.
Yes.
He's like, and that's so that we can continue to sustain and provide this. Like,
and the reason that he doesn't take insurance is because if he does, his overhead costs go up so significantly that then that $15 prescription would be like $100.
It's cheaper than insurance.
It's way cheaper.
His product is literally cheaper than insurance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're the same thing. They're just a generic.
Same fucking thing. How does he get the drugs though? Going straight to like the labs that produce them. He goes straight to the labs that actually produce
Again, you got to have money.
Yeah. Yeah. If
a lot of it.
If Mark Cuban's calling, you're picking up.
Yeah, you're picking up.
Yeah.
Do you remember the name of it? Is it like Cuban Drugs?
No, it's like something.
Because it should be.
It's like something +1 or good +1, something like that.
I need to look into it because not for the reason that I need to save $50 on a fucking prescription, but because that's the right way to do shit, and that's who should get the support.
Also,
right?
$0 spent in marketing. Mark Cuban says $0 spent in marketing. Every single thing is word of mouth so that he can keep the costs down.
Oh, I like that.
They don't spend anything on marketing at all.
Doesn't fucking need to.
Everything is word of mouth. Look,
this.
It's a great product, and then we're talking about it, and now thousands of people are going to see this.
That's hilarious. I need to look into that. Yeah, I mean, everybody should look into that. Like, that's who you should be supporting. Right? If more people took initiatives like that, we wouldn't have the crazy fucking healthcare costs that we have today that we have to pay, and we get nothing.
So I'm a big anti-pharma guy.
Yeah.
I think that most of the drugs that are out there, like most of them, obviously you have the life-saving ones. But most of them out there, they're actually not the cure. They're the actual cause of the problem that you're experiencing.
I don't disagree with that.
Like antidepressants, like all that does is it lowers like your serotonin, like the lid on where you can get. So it like hits your cap. So you feel like you're like, so you can't get happier. But as soon as you take like the antidepressants out, your ability to actually like create serotonin, the lid actually increases. Like I believe that like painkillers, ADD, all that, I think it's actually the cause of it. I don't think anything's wrong with ADD. Like I'm ADD as a motherfucker. Yeah. Like, but I've never Adderall, Vyvanse here and there. Like years and years.
You look
ago.
like you snorted Adderall one time.
I look like snorted every morning. Talk like it. Yeah. But like I think like all that stuff is like I think it's the actual cause. I think that people should.
I think there's something to that. I think there's probably. I literally was talking to Natalie about this the other day. She's like, well, what do you think about that? And what do you think about that? And I was like, I don't really give a fuck what they said. I don't really give a fuck what they said. Here's what I think every time you ask me that question. The truth probably lies somewhere in the middle, right? Because it always fucking does. Because this motherfucker's lying a little bit and this motherfucker's lying a little bit, right? And if you put them together, we're probably going to find the truth somewhere in the middle, right? So I don't think that people talk enough about what your saying, because I think there's a shitload of truth to that. I think there's also a little bit of truth over on this side.
Mm-hmm.
And if people would have the dialogue to have the conversation to figure out what the actual root is, so that we're not over treating certain things, because that's when that kind of stuff happens, right?
Well,
like when you over treat.
The over treating is just, it's designed, I think it's designed to numb you or make you feel so good. Like, so like anxiety or depression is designed to numb you, to make you feel so good. And the addiction stuff is to make, the ADD is to make you feel focused, and like addictive properties in there that make you actually feel good.
Yeah.
Like, it's designed to keep you there.
Yeah.
Like, because they don't make money if you're not on it.
No, there's no money in curing cancer.
There's no. there was this drug. I saw like 2 weeks ago. They ran like, I think 37 different cases of this new drug, and every single case, cancer disappeared.
Really? I bet that gets shelved.
Yeah, or people die randomly, or whatever.
I bet that
Anyway,
gets shelved.
Back to stem cells.
Yeah, no. I mean, but we were talking about it, and I have about 2 months until I go back and I'm going to get an MRI, because I want to see if my discs actually regrew a little bit. And if they did, like, I'll fucking go back and do it again until they regrow. But you said that you got the PRP thing done.
I did. I didn't like it.
And it didn't work worth a shit. Where'd you get it done?
LA, Beverly Hills.
No, like in your body.
LA. Yeah.
I can see that. That's okay.
Shoulder and knee.
Okay.
Yeah.
And both because of cartilage issue stuff?
Yeah. So this one I was working out, and I don't even know what it is, but it's kind of fucked up here.
It's not your jerk arm.
No.
Okay.
This one's way bigger.
Okay.
Left knee, I think it's like meniscus.
Okay.
Meniscus in the left knee.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they claim that it would help that.
Yeah, it didn't do shit.
So
you need the real.
You need the
stem
real.
cells.
Yeah, you need the real
so,
deal.
So PRP is basically I don't even know where they went. They went somewhere in my arm. They pulled out blood. They spun it. They took out the plasma, and they re-injected the plasma back.
Yeah, it's totally different.
Yeah,
it's totally different. But you said that you could go somewhere and get like Mormon blood.
Yeah,
like, because that's the real shit.
You can, in Salt Lake. There's I got to connect. He owns a bunch of like different.
We won't say his name because I really don't think it's legal. I wouldn't say his name.
They had a pitch deck and everything. Like,
I'm sure they did. Really? I'm sure they did.
Well, I mean, anyone in Salt Lake City has a fucking pitch deck.
Yeah.
You're
right.
They're born.
They're born with a pitch deck.
It's the Book of Mormon. It's the Book of MLM.
Yes. That's hilarious. No, because it's not, because you can't even. So, because I was talking to Boris, who we interviewed a little while ago. Boris went to his doctor when he had his baby to ask if he could take the baby stem cells so he could harvest his baby stem cells, but it was going to cost like $75,000 to harvest them. And they were like, you can do that because it's your baby, but you can't legally then go put them back inside yourself in the United States.
But he can do it for his own
But
baby.
then he could transfer them to Mexico and they could inject him in Mexico legally.
Interesting.
But not in the United States. That's why I think what your buddy's doing is probably not technically legal, right? Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean I wouldn't go to him, because I will, other than the fact he's probably 10 times more expensive than Josh was in Puerto Vallarta. But that's the route.
So they actually they do it on a membership model. It's $80,000 a year.
That's how they get around it.
Yeah, it's 80.
All right.
It's 80. It's a club.
It's a club.
It's a club. It's
right.
80
That's like the gentleman's club. Yeah. It's like you get 8 blowjobs a month for for $80,000. Like,
so yeah, it's like $80,000 a year, I'm pretty sure, and then they like it comes with like X number of like stem cells.
Oh, that's how he gets around it.
You go there monthly, and
interesting. I want to learn more about that after that. I want to just for shits and giggles. I mean,
and then my doctor that I go to, he's in Miami. I got a doctor in Miami.
Okay.
He does all my blood work, 360. Yep. Like I do a lot of biohacking.
Yep.
He'll harvest my own stem cells and basically put them in storage, and like when I'm like 10 years later, 15 years later, I can go ahead and pull my own stem cells and put them back in me, but I get 27-year-old Mo put into 45-year-old Mo.
Oh, smart.
Yeah.
Smart. I'm getting hooked up with a guy here.
Okay.
That's the same
type of
dude. Yeah. Peyton, James both go to him, and like blood work done all the time, pull shit about whatever, like just like a wellness guy, you know, like that. I'm super excited to get to know that side of the, like I've been doing like tests and, you know, all that kind of stuff for the last couple of years. And that's helped me a lot just because, I mean, I'm 43 and you know what I mean? Like you just, when you're getting older, it's hard to keep working out as hard and
Yeah.
doing the stuff that you want to continue to do. But I'm excited to they go balls deep with nutrition as well. That's what we could call this episode, balls deep.
Yeah. With Mo Fala.
But yeah, balls deep with Mo Fala.
That's the most viewed episode.
Yes, we got it.
That's funny.
That's awesome. So yeah, stem cells, kids. Everybody should get stem cells. Mo, last 5 minutes are yours. We always like to wrap up with anything that we forgot to talk about, that you're passionate about, that you give a shit about, or that I just forgot to bring up.
You know, I love winning a lot. Like it's not that I love winning. It's like I hate losing.
Yeah. I hate losing way more than I like winning.
Way fucking
way more.
I will
because I'll win and then just go, all right, what's next?
I'll forget about it.
Yes.
But I'll hold on to that
I'll
loss.
chew onto that
forever.
fucker. Yes.
Forever.
Yes. I think that's the way to live.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the people that revel in their wins for too long, they're missing the next 5 because they're still fucking drinking beer and you know what I mean, sitting on the boat or whatever, going, look how good I did. And they're back in high school winning the state championship and they're 38 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're working at
right.
town
yes.
gas station.
Yeah. They're the Walmart greeter. Yeah.
So I say that just because it's like, I think today, in today's age, I think there's so much scrutiny around people becoming successful and people winning.
Yeah.
And it's everybody should get an award, everyone should get a trophy.
Yep.
And it's like, I think there's also this huge ideology that's been stemming recently about like having to maintain balance in your life and needing, it's not all about this, it's about this. Like, and I think like overall, like we just need more aggressive people in the world. And I don't think aggressiveness is like a poor trait. Like I look at aggressiveness as like,
I change the word?
Yeah.
Passionate. Can we mix passion and aggressive?
Passion is that soft word that like everyone wants to like it's a passion. It's a delicate way of not hurting feelings. Like like we gotta.
I mean, you know me. I don't like hurting feelings.
Yeah. I don't know what audience you're trying to please.
Not fucking that one.
Yeah. But aggressiveness in the sense of like
you
see something like you should have like a burning desire to go after it.
Aggressive in your own.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not like aggressive, not like abusive. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Not like
no, and I didn't mean abusive, but I meant aggressive towards others. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now. Aggressive mentality, aggressive personality.
And I think I think that more people in the world should have that type of desire to like a relentless attitude to go after anything that you want, and more people should do that. And I think the world needs more entrepreneurs. And what I like in my business, it's not like a sales company in our business. Like, we are a sales organization, but as a company, we really look at ourselves as a personal development company that doesn't build employees. We build entrepreneurs internally.
Right.
And I believe that the world needs more entrepreneurs. It's all about impact and change. That's all. That's all it stems down to. Is like you just can't make impact and change without starting a business.
Right.
And even if you're not starting a business, you can be like the entrepreneur inside of the business, and you can be building it. But like, you just have to have this like absolute like all out hustle grind mentality that like you can literally get anything that you want in your life, and there's nothing to stop you.
And don't be ashamed of having the thought.
No, and
I think right, like that's kind of what you're getting at.
Don't
too,
be ashamed of having the thought,
people.
and don't be ashamed of losing people along that path, because you're gonna lose friends, you're gonna lose family, relationships. Like the thing, if you want something so bad, this guy I've been recently following. His name's Alex Armozy, and he says like the reason why people can't give up good to go after great is because they think the fear of loss is so huge that they're sacrificing what could be.
Say that again. So
many people are afraid of giving up what's good for what's great because they're stuck onto the fear of loss of what's good, and they're sacrificing what could be great.
Yes.
Like and that could be in relationships, that could be in career, that could be in, anything. And we don't want to let go of what we have that's good and go after something that's great, just because the fear of loss holds us back. And like if you have this like thing in you that's just driving you towards a direction, like when I went to California, if I stayed in Florida under that business, it was 23, 24 years old at the time. With the door knocking I was doing, with the leads I was doing, I was comfortable in Miami, young guy making $300,000 a year. Yeah. Like that's good for a lot of fucking people. In my first
23, 24 in Miami making that kind of money and pussy's just falling out of the sky.
It's
right.
Yeah, seriously. And it's like, that was something good. Yeah. And I have and everybody told me that I'm an idiot for even thinking of leaving, like going to a place where I knew nobody, had no friends, no connections, to go knock on doors and just try and like in a market that's already had solar knocking for 10 years everyone says it's too saturated, you can't do it. And Florida's brand new and like you're going to do so much better here. And like, I don't know why, but I had this just thing inside of me that said, like, you have so much more. You know what you want to do. You want to build a business. You don't want to just make money. You want to impact people. And this thing just pulled me so fucking hard to going. And I don't think many people would have left a position like that to go to ground zero and start from scratch. And I look back at that and it's like, and I just read this thing that Alex said, Alex Hormozy, the guy I was telling you about. I just read this thing like a week ago about the, giving up something. And I look back at like what I did back in 2018 and it's like, holy shit, like I gave up what was good and I ended up grabbing onto something great. And I didn't let that fear get in the way. And I for everybody that's listening is like that thing that you feel is there that like you're making a mistake if you do this, or other people talking in your ear or whatever it is. Like if you want it bad enough, like you owe it to yourself to go after it. Like you owe it to all the potential people that you're not going to be serving because you decided to play scared. Like it's a service thing. And as I'm sure you've seen, like as you've become far more successful in your life, your wins and your successes don't come from money anymore. No, they come from the impact that you're able to help other people achieve. I'm sure that like when you have somebody in your company make their first 6 figures, you're way more excited than when you probably made your first 7 figures. Way more. Yeah. Like way fucking more. And so like a lot of people just get stuck and caught up on these like on this idea of money. And once you actually start to grow and build into it, you start to realize that the most important thing is other people. And there's no way that you can serve anybody without taking that bet and taking that risk on yourself. And like, I guess I want to leave it at that. Is just like, we need as a society, more people to take ownership, to accept responsibility, to stop playing the blame game and realize that anything that happens in your life is because of you. It's all your fault. No government can do anything. Nobody can stop you. Like I'm a living example. Like no government can stop you from going out and being successful. Like I had California sending out letters that like you can't be out. Like like knocking door to door to sell solar is not what was the thing they called it? They said
non-essential.
Yeah. Me going knocking doors is not.
That was not essential.
It was not not essential.
But it was for you.
But it was for it was essential for me. Right. And I knew that I needed it, and I knew that it was the only way that I could grow out of it. And despite anything trying to get in my way, like I just kept going. And that's what everybody here should do to the things that they know that's right for them and for their life.
Well, here's what I want to say. I'm so fucking glad that we took the time to do this because every event that we've went to and every mastermind, every group thing that we've ever been to together, there's always so many people and we rarely get the chance to like sit down and have a conversation.
The last time we were going to, you broke your arm.
Yes. You were at that.
I was. You called for a fucking helicopter.
Yeah. And then they gave it to the broad. And put me in the fucking ambulance that didn't have any drugs.
And you went for 2 hours or something like that?
They took a 2 or 3 hour drive to the fucking ambulance or to the hospital. And then they wanted to do surgery there. And I'm like, no way. Like, I'm in Idaho. You can go fuck yourself. Y'all got a saw and some fucking scissors and shit.
Do they know about the broken arm?
Who?
Your viewers.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Arm. Yeah, I was there. I was there for that.
So you were there. Yeah. And the funny thing is we were telling the story. And that Coda kid, he was like, oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
Because like he saw everybody posting the helicopter. I'm like, that was supposed to be my helicopter, and they took it from me. And then did you hear that gal sued Sam?
Did she?
Yes.
Did it work? Did they?
I don't know. They're still waiting on it to come through. Because he called me and was like, you want to jump in on it and get some free money? And I was like, yeah, I do. Like, let me get in. Yeah. Because I ended up having a rod fucking down to there.
Yeah, that was fucking gross.
That sucked.
Yeah.
Were you in the...
Not in your car.
You weren't in ours,
Not
were you?
yours, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't fun.
That's pretty crazy what happened.
Was that the last one that we all went to?
That was the last one I went to. That's where I met Bella.
Yes.
That was her first day.
And then did you guys start dating like right after that? Really? Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. We made it official like a couple months after, but we were like exclusive from like we
oh, wow.
we went on our first date like a week later, and then
no shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And we just like we're exclusive since
Thanks,
then.
Sam. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Sam. Yeah. Best fucking $100,000 I ever spent.
Right? Yeah. Mo, thank you for being here. I hope that we're closer now, that we can spend some more time together and hang out and get to know each other a little bit better and help each other however we can help each other. Thanks for being on the show. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Hey, if you know what, I'm going to start doing this at the end of every show too. So I listen to Andy Frisella a lot.
Love him.
Love Andy. And at the beginning of every one of his podcasts, he says the exact same fucking thing.
It's the dopest. It's the
Nope. Well, he does say that.
Okay.
But what he says is, we don't have fucking sponsors. You know why? Because I want to say whatever the fuck I want to say, right? So you know what the cost of admission is? Share this motherfucker. Share this goddamn podcast. Share it with your friends. Tell people about it. Tell people, because I'm never going to get a sponsor other than my company to pay for what's happening here, because I want to be able to say whatever the fuck I want to say. If somebody gets offended, I don't give a shit, because I want people to listen and I want somebody to hear something that Mo said today and it syncs with them and they leave and they change their life. And that might mean that 4 other people that were listening, because there's probably a total of 5 fucking watching. But if there's 4 other people that are listening that got offended, I don't give a fuck, because I care about the one person that got something from it, that got to change their life. So if you're listening, you're watching, and you like the show and you like what you heard, share this motherfucker so other people can hear it, all right? And so the way that we end every show, remember, be authentic or get the fuck out.
This here interview's finished. Get the fuck out if you can't be authentic. Get the fuck out if you can't be authentic. Get the fuck out if you can't be authentic. Yeah. Swipes.